Okay, we'll be starting in about 2 minutes. We're just coming up on the top of the hour in India and bottom of the hour, North America. We'll be starting shortly.
Recording in progress.
Bottom of the hour, North America. We'll be starting shortly.
Recording in progress.
We're just about a minute away. So we have our LinkedIn Live audience. We should be having our YouTube Live audience joining shortly. And we'll get it started in just about 30 seconds. All right. So let's begin. I want to welcome everyone to our career information session about the project management postgraduate program from UMass Amherst. My name is Stuart Creek. I'm with Simplilearn. We are the delivery partner for UMass, and I'll be talking about the program. Also, you'll hear from Brian Campbell, who is one of our senior instructors, and we'll introduce him in a moment. Right now, I want to talk about the agenda. We're going to talk about project management careers. I'll be asking you a few poll questions along the way. Then we'll talk about what this program offers you and how it gets you job ready for project management careers. We will talk about enrollment steps if it's something you're interested in, and then we'll take your questions. So along the way, if questions that come up occur to you, please put them in the Q&A. If you're watching on our streaming service, put them into the comment or chat box. Should be able to get those transferred over to me so I can answer those in the Q&A section toward the end of the presentation. So with that, I am going to let you hear from Brian now.
So hello everyone, it's great to spend a little time with you. So yes, I am a project program manager. These acronyms you see in front of you stand for things like the project management professional, the program management professional, and the Project Management Institute's Agile Certified Professional. All these are certifications offered by the Project Management Institute, which is sort of the leading project body, authorization certification body. So I do a lot of work with PMI, as well as a lot of work in traditional and more agile related practices. And been doing this for a long time. I think both Stuart and I can relate to the fact that, we start getting a lot more gray hair appearing, and that's just a sign of all the time we've spent working in different organizations. So most of my background has been exclusively project and program management experience, oftentimes helping organizations with things in large-scale transformations. We want to shift from traditional project management to maybe to agile. So I do a lot of work in that space. I contribute a lot to some of the literature out in the industry, like the Project Management Body of Knowledge, or PMBOK. And I do a lot of work with organizations like Simplilearn, creating course content to help people that want to learn more about project management and get their certifications.
And about careers in project management is a universal skill in business. It's a universal skill in life, really, because in any endeavor, we plan out what we want to do and we execute that plan, and that's project management, whether you're deciding to buy a home or a car or fix something. Um, you need to plan out the steps you're going to take, what schedule they're going to occur in, and then execute them and make sure that they're equitably. So in business, sometimes the stakes are higher, but it's a similar type of process, and it's evolved over the years. We traditionally thought of um, project management in terms of discrete steps. That's very different today, isn't it, Brian?
Yeah, definitely. In fact, one of the things we've recognized and seen in the industry and the market is that the pace of change is just so fast, so high. So some of those old style practices that we leveraged in the past, very prescriptive, linear processes. Now we're having to develop some very modern project management techniques where we're taking advantage of all these digital tools that are starting to emerge, things like AI and machine learning, which is actually really helping the project management space. So all these skills are so important. But as you pointed out, there's sort of the universal things that we're pulling on here. Some things just haven't changed. People are going to ask, when is it going to get done? How much is it going to cost? And this is where project management is always sort of focused, helping organizations and people understand those answers to those questions.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, it has applications, of course, in every industry, every company, and
Mhm.
it's really extremely powerful because it allows you to um, control the flow of work within the company, both on the day-to-day level and for um, one-off types of events. Company, for example, Simplilearn just acquired a company. That was a project in and of itself. So um,
Right.
project management skills, again, the skills of a project manager in the traditional model, um, develop the project plan, manage the deliverables, staffing, everything. So can you comment a bit about these skills and how they're um, maybe a little bit different in the modern era of Agile and Scrum?
Yeah, great questions. So, yeah, some of the things you're seeing here definitely universally apply to all types of projects. As I mentioned before, you're going to get asked as a project manager. I often say when I'm teaching courses, the two questions you get asked are how much is it going to cost and when will it get done? So we do need to have a plan that helps support that, and we need to manage the deliverables that people expect and get people to deliver the work, recruit staff, all that's going to be important. But when we think of sort of the domain, the environment that we're operating in right now, I mean, it's got to be so responsive. We have to be so adaptive. The best laid plans often have to shift and change. We're seeing that all the time. So, this is where that concept you mentioned of agility starts entering into the mix. We want to develop project plans that are adaptive, that are flexible, that are responsive. So we're going to hear a little bit more about that. And that's a real cornerstone of this whole program. It's not just sort of, I want to use the term your grandfather's project management. This is this new, very progressive way in which we can manage and deliver our projects using techniques like Agile. To talk a little bit further about what does project management look like in this new domain. And this is an area that, I've been spending a lot of time with the Project Management Institute on, which is that project management now increasingly is getting spread out across so many parts of the organization. A lot of organizations are realizing, hey, keeping project management in just one self-contained part of the company organization isn't very impactful. We want everyone to have these skills. And we're going to hear a little bit more about the career opportunities that project management offers, but I think this is one of the more compelling ones. The need for these kinds of answers have not gone away. Organizations are still always going to need a way in which they manage work, and project managers are going to be an important part of doing that. And we're seeing that this is extending across every aspect of an organization now. It's not just centralized in one project management office. So kind of an exciting time if you're interested in pursuing more of a formal project management career direction. And I did notice there were a couple questions, like, what technical knowledge do good project managers bring to the table? Now, I will tell you this, as a consultant, I work for many, many different organizations, and a lot of times I just don't have that domain knowledge that some people in those organizations that have been there 20, maybe 30 years have. So it's not always critical for a project manager to have that in-depth technical knowledge. You're going to rely on expertise that you have on your teams, but great project managers are the ones that can quickly come up to speed on some of those technical topics or the business domains that they're operating in. And that's part of what makes this a really interesting industry. I'm always shifting into new projects, learning about new areas, whether it's oil and gas. I'm based in Houston, Texas. I do a lot of work in oil and gas, but also healthcare. I do a lot of work with healthcare clients. Those are very different industries. It's so fascinating learning about how they operate and manage. So that makes project management, I think, a pretty exciting space to be in.
Okay. And you'll hear a little bit more from Brian later. Let's go back to our presentation. So one of the things that you need to have is a set of skills, a suite of skills for project management. PMP certification, the professional project management professional certification, um, offered by the Project Management Institute, is always a helpful certification to have. It shows that you've mastered a set of skills according to an industry standard. That set of skills has evolved over the years. So, whereas 20 years ago, a PMP certification would have focused on traditional waterfall methods of project management, today there's a significant component for agile and agile scrum methods, which look at a different way of organizing work and managing work rather than the traditional step-by-step approach. So risk management is also an important element of project management because you need to understand what are the potential pitfalls and downsides of any particular project plan, and how do you plan around those so that you can keep your project on schedule, on budget, on track. Um, Lean Six Sigma methods for maintaining quality, um, using tools like Microsoft Project and other planning and management tools, uh, implementation of a PMO, project management office, so that you can set up a function within your organization that provides this type of support across projects, and then understanding customer centric digital transformation, because so much of what organizations do today is deal with digital transformation in our evolving world, especially since the pandemic, where we had to move almost instantly to work from home, non contact methods of dealing with customers. Um, the digital world became far more important, um, and customer centric digital transformation now an essential. So, put together this suite of project management skills. Let me ask, because you're all here because you're interested in this field, what has stopped you up until now from taking up this type of training. And I'll let this poll run for a bit. If you are watching on the streaming services, you can put A, B, C, D into your chat or comment. Just let us know. I'll keep this going as long as I see the numbers are changing. And we're still coming along here. Give you about 15 seconds more to answer. So please get your answers in. And another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit that submit button. And here we go. This is very interesting because it's a very even distribution of all the different um, issues that identified here. Barely the most is time in the work schedule, finding the time to put in the study, get the skills. Right after that is not feeling that you get practical exposure or experience that you would be able to use to demonstrate your new skills. Not finding a fully comprehensive curriculum that covers all of those project management skills that we discussed. And also, some folks find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos as a primary mode of education. So let me share that with you. You can see that fairly straightforward, fairly even distribution, I should say. So that brings us to the program at hand. The University of Massachusetts Amherst Eisenberg School of Management offers the postgraduate program in project management. This is delivered by Simplilearn, and it is a 6-month program. We say that you should plan to devote 10 to 15 hours a week. Some of that is in scheduled classes, generally on the weekends, but much of that is work you can do on your own schedule, anytime on the digital platform. It's available to you 24/7, and it is entirely delivered online. Um, so you have the ability to take this course from virtually anywhere in the world, and desktop, your laptop. Much of the material can be accessed on your mobile device. So this is a very convenient program and something that you can fit into your schedule and into your lifestyle. It covers a comprehensive curriculum, and we'll get into that shortly. And it includes integrated case studies and hands-on projects that you'll be doing to build up a portfolio that you can then show off. Say, this is the proof that I can do this type of work. The live classes are done virtually online, but you're directly interacting live with your instructors and with your peers in the classroom. You get to ask your questions live, and get responses, go through the exercises and case studies live with the professors. So, or instructors, I should say. And then this gives you the ability to uh, learn in a live classroom environment from wherever you are. So what you get out of the program is a certificate that attests to the fact that you've completed the program, um, demonstrated the skills, backed by the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. It's also backed by Simplilearn. And Along the way, you have done those case studies and projects that I mentioned, including a capstone project, which comes at the end of the course and ties together all of the different skills that you've learned along the way. Talk a little bit more about that. You also get master classes. Should say that. I'm sure I'm going to say that. You do get University of Massachusetts Amherst Alumni Association membership. University of Massachusetts Amherst Eisenberg Advantage. The Eisenberg School is one of the oldest business schools of management in the United States. The university itself was established 130 years ago, and the School of Management was founded right after World War II, which was a time of great innovation and blossoming of management technology, management theory, management skills. The world had just learned how to scale up production to a very massive scale because of the Second World War. So this type of knowledge became the standard for business schools at the time. And of course, it's evolved greatly since then. So we live in a very different world from 1947, but the Eisenberg School has kept up with the advances in management theory, and this program gives you the certificates, the Alumni Association. It gives you 9 credits transferable to an Eisenberg online MBA program. So if you want to follow up on the program and start an actual MBA program through the UMass online, you can do that, have a head start with 9 credits. So having University of Massachusetts Amherst on your CV is actually a very prestigious mark. It's recognized worldwide as one of the top universities, and so that will be something that you can proudly show off to people. To be eligible for this program, you need a bachelor's degree. This is a postgraduate program, so you do have to have a bachelor's degree. It can be in any discipline. It does not have to be in technology, does not have to be in management, does not have to be in science, technology, business, mathematics. You can come in from a liberal arts background. You do have to have work experience. This program requires that you've been in the workforce for at least 5 years. Not necessarily in the project management capacity, but in whatever capacity. It's important to understand how organizations work and what this type of work, project management work, does within the organization context. Again, you don't have to have a programming background. You'll be using some digital tools, but you do not have to come in with programming skills. So it's a pretty straightforward. As long as you've got your bachelor's degree and have been working for 5 years, you pretty much are qualified for the program. Let me then ask a question. How many years of experience do people in the audience have? And this is a pretty straightforward question, so I'll only leave it open for about 20 or 30 seconds here. Watching the answers come in. And get your answers in, please, in the next 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and I'll share the result. So almost 60% of the audience, 57% of our audience have more than 5 years experience. That's the qualification. So for that group of people, certainly you meet that criterion. If you're in the 3 to 5 years experience, you'll probably need to plan ahead a year or two down the road for this program. People in the lower experience categories probably want to look ahead further than that. So, but for the folks who have 5 years or nearly 5 years experience, let's talk about how this program prepares you. And we're going to have a live tour of the learning environment. I'm going to have that in just a few moments. We're going to have Brian take you on that. But in the meantime, I'm going to tell you about the curriculum. And this program is designed to build your skills up in a stepwise fashion. You start off with an orientation session that gets you um, oriented to the digital environment, to the learning management system, to the content that you're going to expect, what courses you'll be taking. And then you'll get into the program again with live classes, the first module being preparing for the project management professional certification. One of the reasons why we require a 5 years experience criterion is PMP certification requires that you have a certain amount of experience. So you can't just come in to that without work experience. Once you've prepared for that and you have the exam certificate or exam voucher that allows you to take that exam, then you move on to the Agile Scrum Master module that teaches you those skills, how to use agile techniques and the Scrum method to manage projects. Then you move on to Microsoft Project and learning how to use that tool. And last module before the capstone is implementing the project management office. So understanding the function within the organization and how to formalize it. And the final module of the program is the capstone project, which is a 3 to 4 week effort. You do that under the mentorship of one of your instructors. And, you create a solution to a project management challenge that's based on an industry problem, and that solution becomes part of your permanent portfolio. Along the way, you can take any or all of the objective electives that come through these are all included at no extra cost. So you have a risk management professional, PMI certification, Lean Six Sigma, customer-centric digital transformation, and the PMP certification. So you you will use and you will be required to master a number of different frameworks and tools for project management. So at the end of the program, you'll be able to put these onto your resume and be able to say, here is how I use them. And this is how I applied them in the coursework. So Agile, the Project Management Book of Knowledge, Lean Six Sigma, Jira, Office Project, all of these types of tools. And as I mentioned, the Capstone Project. Capstone Project gives you a showcase that lets you demonstrate all of the skills that you picked up during the program, and you apply them to an industry-based problem, given several to choose from. You pick one and you work on that for 3 to 4 weeks with the mentorship of your instructor. They'll meet with you weekly to make sure you're not going down any rabbit holes or encountering any blockers, and it, you'll end up with a finished project that you built, that you then have in your portfolio and then demonstrate to your current or future employers, this is how I approach project management and this is how I implement project management solutions. So it's a very valuable part of the program. So at this point, I'm going to have Brian share the um, media tour of the learning management.
Excellent. Okay, so you heard me talk a bit. I kind of ran through the list here of courses. So these are the courses. Now you can kind of visualize it a little more in addition to hearing me talk about it. So you can see the different courses. We've got each one of these are a little tile, very easy to both visually see, understand what they are, and dive into. Notice a few of these are going to say self-learning and live classes. So some of this is self-paced learning. You can take the content, the videos that have been recorded, you can start looking at that, whenever it's convenient. And then there's going to be live courses taught by people like myself and other experienced project program managers. So you'll have a chance to kind of also attend those sessions. So a couple different flavors in which you can pursue. I was just about, after I'd gone through the list of all the different courses here, you can see them. I was just about to click on a few so you can see them a little more directly. So let's click on our PMP. Now, this one has an update, and that's, I think, a really important thing to be aware of. Simplilearn is always investing in the content that they've created, making sure it's up to date, that it reflects current trends and directions. Now, I'm not going to update it right now just to save us the time, so I'm just going to go resume learning, but I think that's really important to call out. So you can see right off the bat, I'm jumping into a video. So we've got on the right-hand side, sort of our course content here, and you can jump to any part of the course content. We've got videos that are going to come up. So these are really engaging. You can see how professional these look. So they've really invested in creating a positive learning experience for y'all. In addition to the self-learning and the videos you have, you've got some assessments you can take. And you can, now mine's already expired because I'm an instructor, so they just give me this when I need it. But in this particular case, you could take an assessment. You've got 4 assessments you can take. And for anyone that's interested in taking the PMP certification exam, this is incredibly valuable because it gives you a chance to practice. This is a very demanding exam. So having an opportunity to kind of practice and get some exposure to the types of questions and make sure you really understand all the content is very, very valuable. You can see on the left-hand side too, if we look at the screen here, we've got our live classes. Okay, you'll be able to see a list of when the live classes are. You can check on your certificate. Once you've completed all the necessary activities, you will unlock this achievement and immediately you can add that to your portfolio as something you've accomplished. So each one of the courses has this type of structure, which makes it, from my perspective, really easy to get to what you need to learn and get ways in which you can validate your learning. So each one of these programs has the same structure. You're going to have different courses you can click into. We can look at things like the Agile Scrum Master, and it's the same structure and format, so that consistency is helpful. You don't have to relearn things every time you go into each one of the courses. Again, the same high quality learning experience. Notice there's some tooling that starts to emerge. We've got some self-learning. We've got a project, this time a smart weather with Jira. Jira is a very prominent industry-leading agile work management tool. So you're going to actually get a chance to see these tools in action, learn about them. We've got reference materials, things like case studies you can take. You can download the course slides if you want to go back through those. So anyways, really, really rich experience. I do want to bring your attention to one other thing that I think is really impactful is this community button. one of the things Simplilearn is known for is a great community of other learners. So you'll be able to engage with your learning cohort, all the other people involved in the program. Instructors like myself are in the forums. If you have a question, if there's a topic you want to dig into, you can post it there. Instructors and other student participants will all be able to kind of chat and talk about this. So I find that really enriches the learning experience. Stuart, what else? What else should I show?
I think you mentioned the community uh, forums, and um, are there any other resources like the files that the instructors share with students, other resource sections that people go to?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So yeah, you'll see in each of the courses, there will be things like case studies. You can click on this link. Case studies zip file will be downloaded. You can spend some time digging through each of those.
Okay, so that was a brief tour of the learning management system. And this program is under the direction of John Wells, the head of lifelong learning at University of Massachusetts Amherst. And again, Simplilearn is a delivery partner for the program, but the design of the program, the curriculum is put together by uh, UMass Amherst. So that's how they can put their full faith and reputation behind it. Let's talk a little bit about learner outcomes. Get to your question shortly. So here are some of the people who've succeeded through uh, this type this program. Um, we have uh, Otechwu, who is one of the people who finished the program, and see here that he really enjoyed the instruction. Um, Found that it supported his learning very well. Um, Dale says something similar. Um, Prachi talks about how the learning experience was really great. Jyotish um, enjoyed the classes, complimented the trainer. These are all people who have succeeded through this program. There are a number of them and many more. One thing I want to mention, another way that we help you succeed through a career assist service. Now, the Job Assist program that we offer is for learners in India only, so we do not offer that in other countries at present. But if you are a learner in India um, and you take this program, you will receive, for 6 months after you receive your certificate, you'll receive um, career assist services to support your job search. So some of those are in the form of webinars and other free content that we provide to help you in keeping your career on track. We also uh, provide part of that in the projects that you do as part of this program. But the formal job assist services come from IIM Jobs in India, and they have three important parts. The first part is the IIM Jobs job portal, which gives you access to exclusive job listings. Um, we think that that's a very valuable service. Um, Personally, I think the other two parts of the service are even more valuable. Resume review and rewrite service is important because today's job seekers have to get through the automated tracking systems that employers use and the AI bots that filter out resumes before they ever get to a human uh, to evaluate. So knowing how to write a resume so that the AI bot will recognize your skills and match them to the job description is an important, almost art form. Um, the thing that raises it to a true art form is that once you get through that filter, your resume still has to serve the function of appealing to the eyes of human beings on their desktops or on their screens. And so being able to do both of those things with the resume is extremely valuable help. Um, the other thing that's extremely valuable is the one-on-one interview prep service. Um, you need to pass through several layers of interviews as part of your job search. If you get your resume through the filter process and somebody finds it attractive and calls you in for interviews, which they may do remotely or they may do in person, you need to be prepared to take those interviews and put your best foot forward. Um, some of the interviews will be on your technical skills. What do you know about project management? Some of the interviews will be on your cultural fit with the company and how well do you fit in with the team. So being able to ace those interviews of both types, um, something that really increases your likelihood of finding a job. So again, the job assist services are not a job guarantee, but they are services that will help you in your job search. As I mentioned, there are webinars, industry experts with um, people who talk about career skills, career coaching, um, different particular technical fields, the state of the art, what types of training programs you should focus on. So all of this is free. It's available to you on an ongoing basis. And of course, the projects that you do as part of this program become your portfolio to demonstrate your skills to potential employers. So with all of those things and what we've said so far up until now today, are you interested in enrolling in this program? Let me let this poll run briefly. Of course, this is one question poll, so yes or no. So I'm not going to leave it open for terribly long, but give it another 15 seconds or so. Okay, and I'll close the poll in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So please hit submit. Here you go. Almost 90% of the people who responded said that they are interested, which is great. I will share with you how to accomplish that. I'll make sure that you see that. And well, the enrollment steps are very straightforward. You submit your application to Simplilearn as the delivery partner. We take in that and administer that part of the process. You email us at askus@simplilearn.net. What I will do right now, I'm going to put that email address along with the link to our program page into the chat right now. Here we go. So you should have that link in the chat. We evaluate the application. We'll ask you for information about your work experience and documentation for that. We'll ask you about your bachelor's degree, documentation for that, and evaluate your level of interest and commitment to learning about project management. And assuming you pass all of those criteria, then we will send you an admission offer. And to let you know, The next group of classes starts in February, 25th of February. There's actually an orientation tomorrow. Although if you don't sign up by tomorrow, you will be able to take a different orientation before the 25th of February. But that's our next cohort. If you are in India, the price of the program is 1 lakh, 12,455 rupee. The financing available format's a little weird, but 3,733 per month over time until that's paid off. So that's zero cost financing. And that gives you an option to get into the program without committing the full lump sum up front. If you are anywhere else in the world, the price is in US dollars, 2,499, and you can inquire about financing options. But again, to get the process start, please contact us at askus@simplilearn.net. Help you. So for those of you who are interested, how soon would you like to start? Is this something you want to do in the February class group, or is it something that you want to do maybe further out? I'll leave this open. I'll let you ponder that for about another 15 seconds or so. Please get your answers in. All right, and I'll close the poll in 5 seconds. Please hit the submit button. Closing the poll now. So about 15% of the respondents said that they are interested in that next cohort in February. And about twice as many or so are interested in maybe the cohort that happens in March or April. If you're looking further out, please do contact us either way, because the learning consultants at askus@simplilearn.net will be able to tell you about what the future dates will be, answer any questions that you have about the program, and keep you in touch with us, let you know and remind you as you get closer to the date where you'd like to get enrolled. So, and if this is something that will improve your life and your career, we always recommend that you do it sooner than later, but we're here to help you whenever you choose to do it. So let's move on to questions and answers. At this point, you don't need to see the slide anymore. I'm going to go through first to check to see if we have questions that have come in. Don't see any that have come in from our streaming services yet, but we have quite a lot that have come in via Zoom. So let me run through that. I'm coming down. Got a question, is the course free? Or how much are the fees? We just covered that. So, okay. We do not offer a proof of attendance certificate for today's webinar. We do provide that for the career building and technology expert webinars that I mentioned. If you attend those, you do get proof of attendance certificates. Let's see what else. A lot of these are comments, so. Question about customer-centric digital transformation. So there is I mentioned an elective on customer-centric digital transformation. Talks about how your organization's processes can be brought into the digital domain and done in a way that keeps the customer's requirements, the user's requirements foremost. So that's an important distinction. In the past, implementation of digital systems often focused on the efficiency within the organization, what was convenient for the organization, what was most efficient for the organization. Today, the standard is to make the process efficient and comfortable and delightful for the user, because by doing that, you increase what's called the stickiness of the process, where users will stay with you and your organization's services and products. So this is an important aspect of it, and it fits in with uh, project management, because so much of the work that people do in projects management today is involved with digital transformation. Um, Program duration is 6 months. That includes all of the modules. Looking through here. Uh, Before or after PMP certification, Rahul, if I understand your question correctly, do you take this before or do you take this after PMP certification? And the answer is it's during, because this program will prepare you for your PMP certification. That's part of the postgraduate program. So um, it's going to give you the skills that are covered in the different modules, as well as preparing you for the PMP exam. Down. How long does it take to complete the course? And what happens if you can't finish in the stipulated time? So uh, the course is 6 months. The learning management system will help you stay on track for that. If there are problems that arise where you have some type of challenge or issue that requires you to delay, um, we can work with you to get you from one cohort of the program into a later cohort to complete it. Um, there is a requirement, however, to complete within a certain amount of time. So you'll want to ask us at simplylearn.net, ask the learning consultants there, and find out what the policies are for that. What are the mandatory skills to join the course? Um, you have to have the work experience, you have to have the bachelor's degree, and you have to have the interest in project management. But other than that, there are no mandatory skills per se. Um, okay. Is the PGP in project management equivalent to the first year of a master's degree? This PGMP project management is equivalent to 9 units of a master's of business administration. Because in fact, if you complete this program, um, you have 9 credits available that you can transfer into an online MBA with the University of Massachusetts. So that's uh, what I can tell you about that. Kartik asks if research experience as a PhD research scholar for 5 years counts as experience. I believe it will, Kartik, and I would say that you would want to double check that with the folks at with the learning consultants, but certainly that's work experience after graduating bachelor's degree. So it's absolutely it seems to me that that would be experience. I was told by Simplylearn last year while looking at this program, initially I didn't need to have a bachelor's degree. I'm not sure why you were told that. This is a postgraduate program. This particular program does require a bachelor's degree. There are other training programs that Simplilearn offers um, that are of a different nature that don't require a bachelor's degree, but that doesn't apply to this. What are the requirements for BSc in computer science? With respect to this program, Abraham, there's no um, requirement for a bachelor's degree in computer science. You can have a bachelor's degree in any field. Okay, and I'm looking, we're almost end here. Should, does one require any knowledge of project management? Um, would this PGP be helpful if I'm starting in my MBA? So yeah, it depends on what your focus or concentration in your MBA is going to be. But certainly um, project management skills are extremely important for anybody in management because management is either ongoing operations or it's implementing change within the organization. And so um, if you're doing ongoing operations and you're organizing work to be done the same way every day, um, that's operational management. If you're doing a change to the way the business does work, or you're implementing uh, research or developing a new product, all of those types of activities require project management skills. So we'd want to ask our learning consultants, but certainly having the project management skills is very important. And the tie into the MBA, as I mentioned, is that University of Massachusetts Amherst recognizes the content of this course as important for an MBA program, so that they offer credit for their online MBA for this course. So, let's see. PMP requires experience from no more than 8 years ago. Mine is from 12 years ago, which is therefore invalid. Um, Lisa, you'll probably want to ask that question of the learning consultants. You may be correct about that, and um, but there may be grandfathering in there. And wanted to double check, how does the 9-unit transfer work if I were also to apply for the MBA? And the online MBA is 37 to 39 units. Does that mean I only have to take 30 units to complete the MBA? That's exactly right. You complete this program and you apply for the UMass MBA online. They will credit you 9 units, which means you only have 30 left to go. And straight transfer. Someone asked about getting a PPT of this particular webinar. You'll get a link to the recording, and so you'll be able to review this information and go down. We're almost at the end. Tanya says, I'm participating in the January 2023 cohort for this program. What is the registration process to proceed with the MBA? Ask our learning consultants, and they can put you in touch also with the appropriate people at UMass Amherst to get you into that process as well. Appy asks if there's a possibility to get the class schedule in advance, and certainly can do that through the learning consultants. And do we have a scholarship scheme? We do not. We only have the zero cost financing scheme. How do you describe the importance of project management in one sentence? Sentence I would use is project management is the methodology for getting things done. Pretty much all it is. Um, it's how you figure out what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and how much it will cost. An alternate sentence. Uh, Jose, I believe the cost of the PMP certification is included in the course, and you'll get a voucher for the exam. Double check that with the learning consultants. Let's see. Is Lean Six Sigma optional course is a certificate or certification once completed? I'm not absolutely sure about the certification process within Lean Six Sigma optional course. I believe your green belt certification is included in that. And again, the elective course is included at no additional cost. Are sending a recording. What are the What are the attendance requirements for live classes? Great question. And do you have to attend a certain percentage of the live classes real time live when they occur? So you'll need to check that schedule. If you miss some of the classes occasionally, they are recorded and you can catch up with them. But there's a requirement to commit to getting to the live classes a certain percentage of the time. Does this, I want to ask this question about Scrum Master. Jotra, Scrum Master program includes CSM, so you'd want to ask the learning consultants that. And you have a question about would we advise someone to take CAPM first or directly take PMI PMP certification? And this program is designed to help you go straight into the PMP certification. So, but you can ask that question of the learning consultants as well. Just scrolling to the bottom here. Agaba, I have a bachelor's in procurement. Can I take PMP and PGMP? So yes, if you have a bachelor's in procurement, you can take this program, which will prepare you and qualify you for the PMP. So. Okay, bachelor's in BCom, diploma in project management completed in 2011. I would ask the learning consultants this question about relationship between CAPM and getting experience for the PMP. So. And we can't enroll in the February session. When is the next one after that? That's in March. Are the lectures recorded or live? The lectures are live. They're recorded in case you missed them live, and watch the recordings to catch up. What are the prospects for freelancing and consultant work in this field? Last question I'll be able to take. But the prospects are excellent because, as Brian mentioned, you do not always have to have deep domain knowledge in order to be able to be a project manager in a particular area, because much of what you would do as a consultant or a freelance project manager is to organize the work without necessarily being a subject matter expert. Hope that answers your question. That's all the time we have. I'm going to ask one last question of our audience here today. Our question is, if you're planning to enroll, do you need assistance from us in getting enrolled? So I'll leave this open for about 15 or 20 seconds. And for assistance, you would contact us at askus@simplilearn.net. I will put that into the chat again. Sorry. Just put that back into the chat so it's at your fingertips. And I will end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And about half of the respondents said that they are interested in getting assistance. So again, contact us at askus@simplilearn.net. That QR code will take you to the program homepage on our website. I want to thank everyone who joined us today for this webinar. We hope that we can welcome you into the learning community with UMass Amherst and Simplilearn. And that concludes our webinar for today. Thank you very much.